amongst the top 4. Ready now for the women's mile. Kristen Gillespie of Arkansas, the SEC meet record holder from last year. Emma Coburn of Colorado has the best time in the collegiate ranks this year.
Laura Roxburgh showed great promise as a 14-year-old in high school, running 2:11, and she is finally, in a sense, realizing how great she can be. Her senior year, she's had personal best of 4:34 mile. Maycomber has had an outstanding year and just improved significantly. And Cory McGee, after having run 2 races already and a personal best at 3,000 meters, back here to see if she can wind up winning the mile here as she did last year.
I like to just look at it like any other race. I mean, coming off of my race in Seattle a couple weeks ago, I think that running a personal best was definitely a big step. Even after taking this past season off during cross country and just kind of taking some time to get stronger and having a little injury. So I don't want to think too much about the fact that I have the fastest time, but more just go into it with just the racing mindset and just try to sit back and, you know, have patience and try to win the race.
Well, she's the workhorse of the Florida distance corps. No fewer than 4 races at this meet. As you can see, the competitors for this final, again, 10 athletes, 3 from Arkansas, 3 from Florida in this final. 2 athletes will not score. And if Florida's going to try and stay in this thing, they've got to really finish well here.
McGee went to high school past Christian down in Mississippi on the coast. Did not have a girls team. Said, I want to run after jogging with her dad. And they allowed her to compete and run. And she became one of the top high school milers in the country. They now have one of the top teams in the state year in and year out for girls running. Hats off to her for starting such a trend at her high school.
Well, earlier in the 3,000 meters, Cory McGee got nipped just at the tape by Callie McCumber in the 3,000 meters earlier. So now a chance for Cory McGee to redeem herself in an event that is arguably a better one for her, as Laura Roxburgh does exactly what she did yesterday, take up the pace just as she did in the prelim.
Some people are more comfortable running from the front, Dwight. They know what they had to do. I didn't seek it out, but if the pace got slow in my miling days, I just went for the front and just pushed. And if I was worried about a kicker in the back in the second half of the race, I just pushed as hard as I could to try and take that sting out. And she may feel, again, I've got good speed, but maybe not quite as good as everybody in the race. Either that or she's just more comfortable forging the pace that she wants.
So Laura Roxburgh continuing to lead over the 2 Lady Gators, Cory McGee and Agatha Strasser. Stephanie Strasser is well back for Florida, about 6th place right now. Excellent opportunity for them to score points. Grace Hemsfeld of Arkansas also in that mix in the front pack.
Both in 2nd place and 3rd. McGee and Strasser, teammates who train together, have good wheels. They can kick, and it's something that Roxburgh's got to consider here.
Roxburgh looking up at the big screen to see what's going on behind her. And McGee and Strasser right there, just letting Roxburgh do the work. And then a little gap back to Grace Hemsfeld of Arkansas. Coming into the 800 meters, 2:15.9. So she's forging a pretty honest pace.
Right, and my guess is she's going to keep the heat on this next 2 laps here, so that they will have 2 to go after that. And they could run in the low 4:30s here without a problem. 4:32, McGee, the time she ran that, 3rd best by an American at the time. She raced it on Seattle's oversized track, did McGee, the 4:32, the fastest in the conference this year.
Agatha Strasser is acting as though she's getting a little bit antsy with this pace. Cory McGee going a little wide in lane 1 now, drops back in. And these 3 have separated themselves probably about 10-12 meters back to 4th place.
Hemsfield from Arkansas back and forth, herself in 4th place, a 4:35 miler this indoor season.
But these 3 have broken away just as we expected they might. McCumber obviously feeling the effects of that 3,000 meter title that she took right at the tape by 1/100th of a second.
When you're second and third at a race at this stage, you're constantly monitoring yourself in the second half and saying 3:26 for 3/4 of a mile, and you're asking yourself, when do I make the move? Do I want to go now? How much do I have left? How do I feel? How can I outkick Strasser? Do I worry about her? This is the thought process you have if you're McGee, and McGee decides I've got to go.
Well, Roxburgh threw in a 70-plus lap. She was maybe trying to gather herself for some type of kick, but now McGee says, okay, I got to go now. So now it's Cory McGee trying to gap Laura Roxburgh. Strasser, I'm a little surprised, didn't go with that move. She may gather herself, put herself aside behind her teammate with 1 lap to go, 200 meters. 1 lap of the oval remaining, and Cory McGee has now put a little gap between herself and Laura Roxburgh. Strasser, she's going to make the pass, should make it on this backstretch. McGee's going to make sure what happened to her yesterday in the 3,000 not going to happen here in the mile, as she now checks the big screen to see how much her lead is grown to.
Roxburgh closing the distance a little bit, but she may run out of real estate here.
I'm a little surprised that Strasser didn't have it left to make the move. It's going to be McGee winning the mile title, defending her championship. Roxburgh will get second, Strasser third, so that's 16 points for Florida.
4 minutes, 35.7 seconds.
And McCumber manages to come through for a 4th place finish for Kentucky, but McGee feeling much better about that result than the 3,000 meter time earlier, 4:35.33, and it would have been faster than that if that third 400 hadn't lagged. So McGee wins it comfortably over Laura Roxburgh, and her teammate Agata Strasser finishes